Look familiar? It's the first ever animation with synchronized sound, Steamboat Willie by Disney. But wait, how did this turn into this, and affect everything along the way? This is the story of Disney, and how the unique innovations changed American society and culture forever. The Walt Disney Company has been a cornerstone in American entertainment for decades.
Walt Disney was born in Chicago, Illinois. When Walt was very young, his family moved to a farm near Marceline, Missouri. Walt Disney first entered the animation field in 1920 through his work with the Kansas City Film Ad Company. He then founded Laugh-O-Gram Films with his friend Ub Iwerks, where they produced the short film Alice in Cartoonland. After the success of Alice, Walt moved to Hollywood and established the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio with his brother Roy and the old Kansas City team.
In 1927, Disney created his first series of fully animated films featuring Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. However, the rights to Oswald were taken by his distributor, leading Disney and Iwerks to alter Oswald's look and create a new character, Mortimer Mouse, but eventually settled on the name Mickey Mouse. Disney created 2 Mickey Mouse cartoons without sound before releasing the hugely innovative Steamboat Willie in 1928, which was the first Mickey cartoon to be released and the first animation to employ synchronized sound. The film was a huge hit and sparked the beginning of the studio's dominance in the animation field. Disney's characters joined the ranks of the iconic American symbols, such as the Statue of Liberty and Uncle Sam as faces of the nation, and the widespread recognition of Donald Duck as an American symbol led to him being referred to as Salesman of the American Way.
When creating Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1934, Walt Disney insisted on creating a full-length, story-based cartoon. This project aimed at making the audience emotionally invested. It turned out to be wildly successful when Snow White premiered in Hollywood in 1937. Its first release generated an $8 million gross, or around $150 million today, the most of any film before it. Lines went out the door and around the block, all around America.
During this era of Disney's princess movies, often referred to as the domestic era, women in films such as Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella were depicted in the context of the home, waiting for a man to rescue them. Disney's depiction of women cemented the traditional role of women in American culture. It displayed to a wide audience what a woman was supposed to do, not explore an adventure, but sweep at home. Following the domestic era, women like Ariel, Princess Jasmine, Pocahontas, and Mulan had more of a rebellious and independent voice. All of the Disney princesses sing want songs, conveying their desires and goals in life. These want songs have evolved over time. In the classic Disney era, princesses sang passively about waiting for their desires until love and marriage came along. In the Disney Renaissance, princesses had an active role in achieving their desires. This purposeful evolution reflects America's change in how they viewed the role of women during the time they were released.
During World War II, Disney played a significant role in shaping and reflecting American values and ideals through its production of propaganda films and war-related goods that served the U.S. cause. The company's characters, including Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, became widely recognized as symbols of American patriotism and were featured on war bonds, posters, and military unit insignia. In the early days of television, Disney recognized its potential as the medium to reach a large audience and used it to promote his movies and other products. In 1951, he described television as the great sales medium of the age and argued that it should be given the utmost respect as a medium for exploiting our wares. Disney's use of television as a marketing tool was ahead of its time and set the stage for the way that movies and other entertainment products are promoted today.
Walt Disney's Disneyland. When you wish upon a star.
In the history of Disney, Walt Disney had remarkably been able to understand American tendencies and culture, developing it into all of his work, including Disneyland. He designed it to be a place for American ideals, to remind people of memories and imagination. It was intended to make those in pain feel better. Disneyland became a staple of America because Walt Disney designed it alongside the American dream. When it originally opened in 1955, all over the country, Americans wanted a taste of the seemingly land of paradise that could separate their real lives from their problems, if they saved up enough money to make the journey.
Disneyland's Main Street inspired the design of cities as well as the modern-day shopping mall. Shopping malls today imitate Disneyland by containing entertainment venues and rides. But not only malls, literally all modern theme parks mimicked Disney's first. To name a few, Hershey Park, Legoland, and Universal Studios all stemmed from Disney's unique design. Additionally, banks and airports used switchback lines, which were designed by Disney to create a better waiting experience. In these innovative lines, guests move in a zigzag motion rather than a traditional straight line.
Disney realism, a phenomenon found across the Disney empire, omits the negative elements of society while highlighting the positive elements. Disney's heroes represented the little guy and common man, always being rewarded for their strong work ethic and bravery. However, critics say that Disney adds positivity to a toxic extent, often harmfully neglecting history and reality. Through Disney realism, Disney perpetuates stereotypes in its audience's minds. In the 1950s in Disneyland, one of the few depictions of Black Americans was Aunt Jemima, greeting customers in her pancake house. The attraction with President Lincoln does not give a true image of slavery, and in the attraction It's a Small World, Chinese children are stereotypically represented with coolie Oriental hats. Although its positivity may seem charming, Disney has often added to the hate and ignorance in culture.
On December 15th, 1966, Walt Disney passed away at the age of 65. His death left the company without its leader and an uncertain future. In 1980, with the company running low on Disney's designs, they began their largest project since his death, The Black Cauldron, a film that you probably have never heard about. The Black Cauldron was a financially and critically unsuccessful movie made by Disney in 1985. It was the most expensive animated feature at the time, costing over $50 million to produce, but only earning half that amount. Critics also said the movie had a complex and unenjoyable storyline and lacked well-developed characters. The failure of The Black Cauldron marked a turning point for the Disney company. It had to reevaluate its approach. It eventually regained success with films like The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and The Lion King. CAPS, or Computer Animation Production System, was Disney's proprietary animation tool that revolutionized the way films were made. With this new program, Disney's animators could do a lot more faster, such as automatically filling an enclosed space with any color they wanted, and moving each layer of artwork digitally. This innovation created many new opportunities in terms of camera movements and detail that were not possible in the traditional animation process.
The Lion King, which used the CAPS system, posed many risks to Disney. The composers of some of Disney's most iconic songs were unavailable, as were the directors of those films. In addition, the directors of The Lion King were newcomers. However, The Lion King soon experienced unparalleled success at the time. Critics loved the movie, and it opened to $42 million, doubling its predictions. The Lion King went on to become Disney's highest-grossing movie domestically and internationally. It also became the best-selling VHS tape ever. It became a cultural phenomenon, referenced in songs and shows for years to come. The Lion King, although successful, perpetuated many harmful stereotypes. The useless hyenas mimicked urban black culture. The villain, Scar, was portrayed with gay cliches which play into a Hollywood phenomenon that suggests to audiences that queer qualities represent malevolent characters. In a movie taking place in Africa, Simba, the main character, was played by white actors. Following the release of The Lion King, however, Disney became more culturally sensitive towards its characters. Over the next few years, Disney portrayed its first Native American, Asian, African American, and Polynesian characters.
Today, Disney's success extends beyond its animation roots, with the company's acquisition of Lucasfilm, Marvel, and 21st Century Fox, further solidifying its position in the entertainment industry.
Disney's beloved characters and stories continue to be enjoyed by audiences of all ages, and the company continues to innovate and evolve to stay at the forefront of the entertainment industry.